I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm too stupid. What's the point? What's the point in doing all this? No one is going to pay attention. You're useless. You'll never amount to nothing. You're ugly. You're a disappointment. What is the point of you being on this planet? Do you hear that? Do you hear that quite often? Have you ever thought it might be a subconscious program? Do you know what it might be time to do? Change the program. It's time for a bit of subconscious retuning. You're right, my name is Daz and welcome to Stories for the Subconscious, where I want to help people to reprogram their subconscious minds so that they can basically reprogram their life for the better. Today we're going to be looking at fine-tuning your subconscious mind and how crucial it is for personal growth and success. Now, you may not realise it, but it's the key to unlocking your full potential and achieve your goals. By harnessing the power of your subconscious mind, you can overcome self-doubt, build confidence and create a life that truly reflects your desires and what you truly want to be, the 2.0 version of yourself. We don't seem to realise it, but one of the biggest challenges that people face when it comes to harnessing the power of their subconscious is their negative self-talk. You know what I'm on about, don't you? Those constant criticising voices in our fucking heads that tell us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not good looking enough, we're not talented enough, we're never going to be what we need to be or want to be. You know, it's like having a constant companion that is always fucking bringing us down. I mean, you might have had friends like that in the past in your lives. Who wants a friend like that, constantly bringing you down all the time, putting you down, making you feel so low self-esteem? I've had friends like that in my life, and let me tell you something, they're no longer friends in my life. You know, so we've got to look at it like that way, because it's horrible, isn't it, when you've got a friend like that, and it just happens to be the voice in your head always bringing you down, always telling you good, not good enough, not smart enough, etc. It's just conditioning. And what I'm going to teach you in this video, if you stay to the end, I'm going to teach you ways to overcome that. You're not going to be able to eradicate it like you can the friend. You can just tell them to fuck off and you're no longer friends with that person. This inside your head can't be eradicated, it can't be wiped out, but what we can do is get it to a level where it's very minimal. You know, and when it does come up, which it probably will almost every single day, sometimes it might have a lie-in or a day off and have its feet up or go fucking on holiday, but it'll be back. So what we're going to learn how to do, is learn how to observe the mind. Observe it and recognise when it comes up with its familiar repertoire of bullshit. We can learn how to observe it and go, here it goes again, just playing its familiar thought pattern. And this is what we're going to do. And add, in addition to the observing, we're going to add in other things. Stick around and I'll tell you what them things are. Okay, but first we're going to discuss about the subconscious mind and its programs. Yeah, because another common challenge, what we've got is self-sabotage. We all do it. We often unconsciously do it as well and undermine our own efforts, you know, making it impossible to make progress towards our goals. And this can manifest in things like procrastination, fear of taking risks, or even addiction. You know, drugs, alcohol, I've had it on and off throughout the years with food addiction, especially in the winter months, especially to curb emotions, how I'm feeling. I just turn to food and eat myself to fucking death. But I no longer do that because I've learned how to observe when that familiar feeling, the familiar subconscious thought patterns come up. I've learned how to overcome them by observing, by directing thought. Okay? Then there's also the fear of change, isn't there, which can keep us stuck, literally stuck in a comfort zone. You know, see my other videos? I've tried linking them a few times, but I can't seem to fucking do it. I've tried linking my other videos up top, you know how people do. I go through all the fucking steps, it doesn't link my videos. But if you check out my other videos, I've got one about you're stuck in your comfort box and preventing you to be the 2.0 version of yourself. So go through my videos and have a look, and there'll be one, well, quite a couple, what link to this comfort zone, this comfort box, what I like to call it. And being stuck in your comfort box is literally preventing you from experiencing new things and growing as an individual. And what we've also got to look at as well is the lack of self-awareness, which can make it impossible to recognise the patterns and behaviours that are literally fucking holding us back. When we're not aware of our subconscious patterns, we can't make the changes to improve our lives. We've all been stuck, haven't we, in that rut, in that familiar feeling like we're not making progress, we're not fucking getting anywhere. And then we keep wondering why. It's like being on autopilot. Because it fucking is. It's a subconscious program. You know, we're reacting to situations without any conscious thought about it. But the good news is that we can change that. We can replace that with better habits. We can't eradicate some of the deep-rooted programs, but we can take control by putting better programs in place and observing the negative programs, the thought patterns. And with doing this, we can take control of our subconscious minds and reprogram it to work in our favour. How good would that be? But it does take time and effort and practice, so please bear with me. So I want to explore some of the techniques for fine-tuning the subconscious mind. Few what I've found to work, and there's a lot of ones what don't work out there, but I'll go on the ones what work for me. So a powerful technique is affirmations. If you think to yourself like, in a way, these negative thought programs and patterns are like the daily affirmations you're giving yourself, but unfortunately, they're not serving you. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm out of shape. I'm ugly. I'll never be able to be what I want to be. I can only dream about it. I'll never be like that. Why have these people got that? I'll never do that. I'll never be that. I'm thick. I'm stupid. Do you know? And it goes on, doesn't it? These negative affirmations, what we give ourselves daily. But by repeating positive affirmations, we can reprogram our minds to focus on what we want rather than what we don't want. So instead of things like, you know, I'm not smart enough, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, stuff like that, replace them with things like, I'm on my journey, I am smart enough, I am good enough, I have got the body that I want, I am good looking. Over time, these will become more concrete in evidence, but up first they might feel a bit fake. Do you know, when you're saying I'm not good enough, I'm not smart, I am good enough, I am smart enough, and then you might make a few errors. We all learn by mistake, but you might make a few errors and it goes back to the negative thoughts again, the negative thought pattern. So it's going to take time. It's going to take time with these daily affirmations, but whatever they may be, whatever you want them to be, just think of the opposite. Do you know, I'm not smart enough, I am smart enough, or I've got the willingness to learn, or I'm going to keep growing day by day. I'm overweight. Replace that with, I am gradually and successfully getting and sculpting the body that I want through exercise and through control of proper diet. You know, things like that. Just change the negatives with the positives, and over time the positives will outweigh the negatives. Another thing that we can focus our minds on is visualization. Visualization is another powerful tool. By vividly imagining our desire, I've had far too much coffee today, I do apologise. By vividly imagining our desires and outcomes, we can sort of tap into our subconscious mind and make it work towards manifesting those outcomes. But also, as I keep all the time saying, manifesting elevated thought and emotion with the action. Please get in mind, with the action. None of it will work without taking massive action towards those steps. Okay? So as well as visualising, you know, I am that person, you walk like, and what would the smell like, what would the dress like, what would their habits be, whether it's content creating or whatever you want to achieve, what would their habits be? You've got to take some action. Okay? So you can work towards manifesting those outcomes with mindfulness, And mindfulness practices such as meditation can also help become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, and making it easier to recognise and change your thought patterns, right? Observe the mind. If you don't want to do meditation, or it's not for you, or you don't want to give it a go, or you haven't think it don't work for you, that's fine. It does take practice, but observe the mind. Your mind, I think there was a study saying your mind has over 60,000 thoughts a day, and a large majority of them are just the same repertoire of negative thoughts that you've had from the previous day, and the previous day, and the previous day. So recognise and change your thought patterns. When these negative thoughts are coming up, just observe the mind. It sounds hard to fathom, doesn't it? Hard to grasp, but with practice you can do it, because you'll see the same feelings will come up. The same, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, and you can just observe the mind like, here it goes, it's going through its selection box of tricks yet again, and just observe it. Don't try and not think negative thoughts, or not go, I can't do that, I can't think negative thoughts, because your mind has got sort of a perverse way of making you have negative thoughts anyway. So it's not about dismissing the negative thoughts and going, I can't have negative thoughts, or it's impossible, and it's not trying to eradicate them either. It's about observing them when they come up, and each time they get weaker and weaker and weaker, because they realise that the thought patterns aren't affecting you as much as there was no more. And then the subconscious mind sort of starts to see it as a waste of time, and especially when you're putting the new thought patterns in, these negative thoughts do get weaker and weaker and more manageable, and you get to observe it more with skill. Each time you're practicing this, you're going to get better at observing it, until in the end these thoughts aren't powerful, they're not affecting you no more. Another good thing to do, which I've started doing myself, is journaling. And that can help us identify negative self-talk and replace it with positive and empowering thoughts. Write down the negatives, write down the positives in place. I'll tell you what's been a great example, and I've been through this, of someone fine-tuning their subconscious mind, is someone who has struggled with anxiety and depression. I have struggled massively with anxiety, and I haven't completely overcome it now, but I've learned how to observe when it's coming up, the familiar thoughts around anxiety, around similar situations, similar things, and I've learned how to observe and manage it better. And someone who struggles with anxiety as well, despite their best efforts, they just couldn't at one point seem to shake off the negative thoughts and feelings. I couldn't, but I did start practicing the daily affirmations, the visualizations, observing the mind, and I did commit to it. I committed to it every single day, no matter what came up, and slowly and surely I started to notice a change in myself. I began to feel more confident, more in control, and more at peace. These things will still keep coming up all the time, but I've learned how to deal with them by practicing what I've just been going on about. I started to take risks, and I started pursuing my passions and living a life that I truly wanted to reflect my desires. And do you know what one of my biggest breakthrough moments was in all of this? It was when I realised that I had the power to choose my thoughts and emotions. I realised that I didn't have to be controlled by these subconscious programs all day. I realised that I could control it by observing what was coming up. I could take control of it, and that's when everything started to change in the right direction for myself. And you can do this as well. It just takes practice, time and effort. I started living a life that was more authentic, more fulfilling and more meaningful. And I've literally, I'm still doing it, but I'm fine-tuning my subconscious mind. Fine-tuning it, and I'm literally transforming my life in a more positive direction for the best. So fine-tuning your subconscious mind, it takes practice, but it's crucial for personal growth and success. If you can become more aware of your thoughts, emotions and patterns, you can literally fucking take control of your subconscious mind and reprogram it to work in your favour. But you've got to remember to practice the affirmations, the visualizations, the observing the mind, which is the most powerful one for me. Learn how to become the observer. Practice mindfulness, practice your journaling consistently, daily, to see the long-term results. You've got to put your self-discipline on this, and you've got to practice it daily. Not just once a week or once in a blue moon, because it'll be back to square one again. Just keep practicing it. It will become difficult first, but over time it becomes easier and easier and easier. You know what, I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Please let me know. Have you ever tried, or are you fine-tuning your subconscious mind? What techniques have you used? What worked for you? Share your experiences and tips with the community. If you want to learn more about mindset and personal development, please check out my other videos. I've got ones on building self-discipline, all different types of things what can really help you to become the 2.0 version of you. Well, that's it for this week's Subconscious Story, folks, and I hope you've found value in the content once again. And if you have, please like, share and subscribe, as it helps the stories to thrive, stay alive and get into that subconscious mind. Until next time.